During its more than 100 years in operation, the Moundsville Penitentiary in West Virginia was one of America's most violent correctional facilities and the final stop for almost 1,000 criminals. The prisoners lived in cramped quarters, which led to riots. Many men were hanged or killed in the electric chair, while others were murdered by other prisoners. The prison closed in 1995, but according to some, the tortured spirits are still behind bars and in the bowels of the prison and may be seen or heard on a tour. Once known as the Western State Hospital, this asylum was home to thousands of people with mental illness. Starting in 1864, hundreds of people died here before the facility closed in 1994. Spirits that are said to haunt the site today date back to the Civil War era, when the asylum's grounds served as a military post. Normal tours of the facility feature 2-hour visits to the asylum's 4 main hotspots. More intense ghost hunt is an 8-hour overnight paranormal adventure with experienced ghost hunting guides. On June 10th, 1912, the old white frame house at 508 East 2nd Street became a grisly crime scene. The heinous murder of Josiah B. Moore, his wife, their 4 children, and 2 young girls who were overnight guests rocked the small town of Villisca, Iowa, and the murderer was never identified. Over the years, residents of the home reported visions of a man with an axe, children crying, and unexplained paranormal activity. In 1994, the home was restored to its original condition with no indoor plumbing or electricity. These touches add to the chilling ambiance during a lamplight tour from April through November, or an overnight experience available by reservation for groups. Built in 1771, Fort Mifflin is the country's only Revolutionary War battlefield that is still intact. 14 restored buildings on the grounds on the Delaware River, and reportedly plenty of spirits from the past. Among the ghosts said to haunt the fort is a screaming woman whose cries are so loud that the Philadelphia police have been called to investigate, only to find no one there. Other characters in the local ghost stories include a faceless man wandering around the fort, a tour guide dressed in revolutionary garb, and numerous children and dogs. The house at 716 Dauphine Street is a classic French Quarter beauty with classic wrought iron balconies and a large courtyard. In the 1800s, this residence was a house of horrors for the Sultan, a wealthy man with a depraved lifestyle, multiple wives and children, and a harem of women and young boys held against their will. Neighbors complained about the mysterious habits of this man who had a predilection for partying, opium, and torture. But the greatest mystery in the house was the Sultan's demise, when he was buried alive in the courtyard after his family and harem were hacked to pieces in a bloodbath by an unknown perpetrator. Today,